Matt Russell played his college football at Colorado back in the mid-'90s and played for Bill McCartney, who passed away over the weekend, who had an unbelievable impact on not just the football program, but coaches all over the country and many people. He joins us. Matt, thank you very much for your time. We appreciate it. I don't know if was Bill in bad shape or health or whatever, but when you heard that he was gone, what was your initial reaction?
I think probably my initial reaction was more reflection than anything. I'm here in the area in Denver and have spent time with Mac, since I got done playing, here and there, would see him every other year, maybe every year. And so anyway, upsetting, sad, tragic for all of us who have played for him. But I think at the same time, we knew that was maybe the direction that it was heading over the years. And so certainly reflection over my career and the impact he had on me and all of my teammates.
Matt, obviously, there's different eras of college football. Do you feel he kind of unfairly gets kind of forgotten because of what he was able to do at Colorado and how dominant you guys were? And that I really do think that especially 1990, people forget about that year quite a bit.
Ticket Club is a unique platform that aims to revolutionize the way consumers purchase event tickets. It primarily functions as a membership-based ticketing platform, offering a wide array of tickets to concerts, sporting events, theater shows, and other live entertainment events. The main distinction of Ticket Club from other ticketing platforms is its commitment to delivering tickets with no service fees. Features and benefits of Ticket Club. One of the most distinctive features of Ticket Club is the absence of service fees. Most ticketing platforms charge service fees, which can elevate the cost of the ticket significantly. However, with Ticket Club, the price you see is the price you pay. This translates to substantial savings, especially for frequent ticket buyers. Ticket Club also offers a diverse selection of event tickets. From Broadway shows and music concerts to NFL games and comedy shows, Ticket Club has it all. This diversity makes it an ideal ticketing platform for all entertainment lovers. Reliability and pricing. When it comes to reliability, Ticket Club does not disappoint. The platform guarantees the delivery of authentic tickets on time for the event. In the rare case that a problem arises, the company promises to refund 100% of the purchase price. Ticket Club operates on a membership basis. Non-members can still purchase tickets, but they are subject to small service fees. To enjoy the no service fees benefit, one can join as a member at a fee of $49.99 per year. However, certain groups, such as military personnel and first responders, can receive free memberships as a thank you for their service. Customer support. Customer support is a critical aspect of any business, and Ticket Club excels in this area. The platform provides comprehensive customer support to ensure all queries and issues are handled in a timely and professional manner. Customers can reach out via phone or email, and the Help Center on their website offers answers to frequently asked questions. Unique features and benefits. In addition to the no service fees feature, Ticket Club has a unique feature called the Ticket Club Premier program. This allows members to earn points on their purchases, which can be redeemed for discounts on future purchases. This feature adds to the overall value provided by the platform and encourages customer loyalty. In conclusion, the introduction to Ticket Club reveals a platform that is designed with the customer in mind. The no service fees policy, diverse event selection, reliability, competitive pricing, and excellent customer support make Ticket Club an appealing choice for purchasing event tickets. Whether you're a sports fanatic, a theater enthusiast, or a concert goer, Ticket Club is your reliable partner for event tickets.
Yeah, it's funny you brought that up because I was thinking about that before I came on here with you guys. In '94 when he left, for those of us that knew him and the relationship that he had with Lindy, his wife, his family, the importance of them, it wasn't as big a shock, I think, once it kind of soaked in, especially at that age. Our coach left and it was pretty big shock. We didn't see it coming. His reasoning certainly didn't surprise us given the kind of man that he is. But I do think back, you think of some of the names, the Bobby Bowdens and Tom Osborne, and the list goes on. Bo Schembechler, who he worked for, which is where we got him from, was there in Ann Arbor. But you think of those guys, and he certainly goes down in history in my mind and our teammates' minds is one of those guys. And I think had he stuck around, you could argue he was in the prime of his career when he stepped away from the game. So I do see your point there, and have thought a lot about that.
We've had Gary Barnett on, who does radio, as you know, for Colorado, and what he did that 2001 season when they physically annihilated Nebraska and kind of changed the tune. I think that gets more attention than what Bill did when he came in. Colorado was struggling. It took a while in the Big Eight when it was Oklahoma and Nebraska, 1-2 almost every year, and then became a part of that. What about him as a coach? Was it his ability for people to rise to the occasion? Was his motivation? Was his X's and O's recruiting? What was his main, you could say, character that led him to what he did?
Well, I think when you talk to a guy in my era, my freshman year was 92, and I find myself when I'm talking to, Hagan, Alfred Williams, Bieniemy, Canavis, Deion Figures, the guys that were before us, feel a debt of gratitude to those guys, because to answer your question, what Mac did that was special, I believe, was he was an unbelievable recruiter, and he could connect with kids from every walk of life. And he did. He inherited a program that was really struggling. I think at the time, Colorado football was probably about as bad as it could get. And he came and he recruited. He made a believer of a lot of those guys. And I tell my kids, which they had a hard time believing, 10, 15 years ago, that when I came out of high school, every kid in the country wanted to go to Colorado. And he did that because those guys before us took a leap of faith in what Coach McCartney was telling them, that, hey, we're building something special here. So, those guys before us, took that jump, and certainly the guys in the mid 80s that set the stage. And then from there, Mac just recruited, went out, scoured the country, and got the best talent, and really had it going.
You don't see a lot of coaches retire at 54 anymore. You mentioned how that's a young man, especially in the coaching game. When you've got like Pete Carroll's trying to get back in, Bill Belichick's jumping in, and they're in their 70s. He said you walked away. Do you feel like there's a generation of players that like people missed out by not getting Bill McCartney, whether it have been at Colorado or somewhere else?
In some ways I do. I find myself always trying to articulate to people what our Thursday night meetings were like, and these talks that he would give. And, you would always hear, and rightfully so, Lou Holtz and some of those guys get credit for.
We lost your audio. Okay. No, you're back. You're back. I'm sorry.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sorry, guys. Some of these legendary coaches that are known for their ability to get up front of their team and get them ready to play. And I think that Mac was second to none when it came to that. And just very, very fortunate to have been a part of being a part of those talks and those things in front of the team. He was special. The Promise Keepers, which of course he ended up being known for that more than even what he did as a coach. How much did that become a part of the program even before it became national, as far as not agenda, but a model and how you live life? Well, I think when Mac recruited players, he knew coming out of high school sort of their background, what they were about, how they were raised. There were those of us who were active in FCA and some different things on campus, and there were those of us who weren't. But we were certainly involved in Promise Keepers if we chose to be. And and it was really for him a devotion to his family. I think you could make the argument and the connection that Promise Keepers is some of that was what ultimately drove him away from coaching, was his devotion to family, his devotion to his faith, and his priorities in life.
Okay, so 94 is last year, 11-1, which is a great way to go out, beating Notre Dame in the Fiesta Bowl. But I don't think people remember beating Notre Dame as much as they do the Hail Mary. Do you look, I'm not a Colorado or a Michigan fan, and I watch that still to this day, 30 years later, and I get like, oh my God, over and over again, it's still the most ridiculous Hail Mary I think I've ever seen.
It's funny. It's one of those moments, they always say, what do you have, like 5 of these in your life? And I still remember exactly where I was on the 35 going in. on a knee next to Matt Lepsis, a former Texas high school kid, and in my recruiting class. And Matt and I were sitting there, and I think we were kind of like, wow, when we got close. And, it was such a launch for Cordell to even get it close. But I remember him dropping back, and I still kind of have this freeze frame of the ball hanging up in the lights, and a moment kind of thinking like, wow, that's going to get there. And then you see our guys go up and tip it, and I thought I saw Westbrook go up and grab it in the back, and then it's kind of blackout from there. Everyone kind of stormed the end zone. But agree, it was just amazing to be a part of that moment in college football.
During that time in the Big Eight, I mentioned Oklahoma and Nebraska had a stranglehold for many, many years. But that Colorado in 1971, and in that year, Paul, you just brought up 11-1, 94, Nebraska won it. They were right there. In 71, it was Nebraska, Oklahoma, Colorado, 1, 2, and 3. I mean, that was when they had a stranglehold on national top fives. And how hard was it to break through?
And you're asking me for in when I was there or in 1971?
Well, no. I'm just the history of Colorado football. I mean, it's just like that they always – yeah, they were in a conference that was at the time, they ran a lot of things themselves with what they had the success of 2 mega programs. But Colorado was a lot of times, there were times they were a mess, but they were sometimes really good. They just happened to be in that same conference.
That's right. And I hate to go back to these references with my kids, but, I tell them, the old Big Eight, was the powerhouse physical conference and the whole thing. And again, you go back to Mac coming from Michigan and kind of bringing that physical Bo Schembechler style of football to Boulder in the mid 80s. And, as you stated, there was some success early there in the 70s. I think Brian Cabral was on some of those teams. My position coach, who's kind of a legendary coach at Colorado, played linebacker at CU. But I think it was hard for CU, always kind of being in the shadow of those big 2 teams. And so for Mac to come and pull off what he did, in the time that he did, and the level of success and consistency that he had was really, really something special and cool to be a part of.
What was it like watching what they did this year? I know it didn't end well, but what was it like watching them turn the corner a little last year and then fall flat because of the schedule? And this year, when things, maybe the expectations weren't quite as high, they made the run the way they did.
Yeah, it's been great for the state. It's been great for the fan base. I mean, the excitement in the state. Again, you go back to, those teams in the 90s and the number of games that were on TV and so long we had to search for games and where are they streaming them. And now you got every game on national TV, and Colorado's got a national fan following back. And the student body's excited again, and the fans the stadium's packed. It's the old excitement, and I think you could even add some to it when you factor in that it's 2024 and the social media aspect and the excitement and the way you can reach fans. It's been great for the state and the school.
Your only loss in 1994, and Coach McCartney's only loss in 1994 was to Nebraska, which 94 Nebraska, I guess 95 is considered the pinnacle, but those, I mean, there's a lot of overlap there. Looking at the 12-team playoff now, does that you see it and go oh man, would have loved to get another shot at those guys?
Yeah, it's funny, those games do. And I may be wrong, but I believe that our class was 40 wins, 7 losses, 1 tie with bowl games factored in over that 4-year period. But 4 of those losses were to Nebraska, and we never beat them. And I think those teams with Tommy Frazier and that offensive line and Coach Osborne had it going on, and those defenses, the black shirts. Those were special teams, and I think some of the best teams in all of college football. But absolutely, to answer your question, with the way things are set up today, it'd be nice to get a crack at those guys again a second time in a season, especially after the result the first time around.
How hard was it to tackle Frazier, if you got to him?
Yeah, I'll tell you just a quick funny story. He. Again, you remember these certain little plays, and I don't remember a whole lot. It's been a long time, but he was a freight train. He was really a running back playing quarterback, but he could also sneaky throw it. He could get the ball down the field when he needed to. And there were times, if you remember, Nebraska would throw the ball 15 times a game or, 10 times a game, but he would run those options. He would turn it upfield. And I do remember one where I kind of lost it in the shuffle and went to make the play, got run over, and thought that it was the big running back. And as I looked over my shoulder, he was kind of waltzing into the end zone about 20 yards down the field. And I thought, boy, that was a quarterback. And, but that was what he was. I mean, he was a special college football player. He really was. He was a great player.
Matt, we appreciate your time. What was the text like? Did you guys have a bunch of text chains going on over the weekend with Coach Mack as far as about Coach Mack?
Yeah, there sure is. There's, as you know, obviously there's ones that you've got so many different buddies and groups of guys. You're on so many different ones. And so a lot of tributes going back and forth and stories being shared. And as you can imagine, most everyone's found out about it now, but guys were finding out about it over the weekend and just a lot of memories being shared and that kind of thing. Things that Coach Mack would want going on. Guys reconnecting and those kind of things that I know he'd be happy about.
I know you're busy, man. We appreciate your time, Matt. With the Lombardi trophies in the background, 4-time Super Bowl champion. Thanks for your time. We appreciate it.
Thank you, guys. Have a great day.
Matt Russell, former Colorado linebacker, wore that 16. He was tough as nails. Played for Bill McCartney, who passed away. Hall of Famer. And we appreciate him for jumping on to kind of discuss Coach McCartney's role in his life and also his impact, too.